All right, let's go. So, the game has officially ended, and the Ravens get the 20-3 victory here in the second preseason game. Once again, Lamar Jackson did not have any reps in this game. I do not know if he's going to have any playing time in the final preseason game. We'll find out about that probably when the game happens, if he's starting or not. Who knows? But yeah, hopefully by next week we'll get some of our receivers back. I'm hopeful Hollywood Brown will be back by then as we get closer to week 1. But we'll see what happens then. Anyway, let's talk about this game, because there was some positives. There was definitely some positives, and the offense looked more improved in this game than they did looking last week. But we'll start off with the defense. So, first drive for the Ravens results in a pick, which we'll talk about. And that puts the defense on a short field. So Sam Darnold in the offense, some of the starters with the Panthers there, the receivers, they were on the field. And they get a short field to start off this drive. Now, Sam Darnold only had one drive, and this was the only drive, the first drive of the game for the Panthers. So they start off on the short field, and our defense has to come out there and make a stop right off the bat. Sam Darnold's making some nice passes, and they're getting down. And next thing you know, they're at the goal line. And I'm like, oh boy. Can our defense make a stop here and potentially give up 3? Man, the play of the game happens on the goal line. They make a stop on first down. They make a stop on second down. Third down, they make a stop. I thought they might kick the field goal, but they decided to go for it on fourth down. They wanted to be aggressive on the goal line, which I appreciate. You want to get aggressive, try some things out, because you may be in that same situation at some point in the season. So they want to try it out with Donald in the offense. So it's fourth down, they run it, and then DeShon Elliott. Oh, DeShon Elliott makes the tackle. He makes the play of the game on fourth down to get that goal line stand for our defense. That was clearly the play of the game. And honestly, the play of the game for me would be DeShon Elliott, because not only did he do that, he would also have a sack in this game. When he was in the game and he was on the field, he was making plays. You continuously heard his name. He was making plays. So, yeah, DeShon Elliott would be the play of the game for me, specifically because of that one play. Because that was Sam Darnold and pretty much some of the, not all, but, some of the starters out there. So, for our defense to go out there and make that stop, it's nice. All that I've gleaned from the preseason so far involving the defense is that they're ready to go. They're making plays. They're making stops. They are clearly ready to go. They're not giving up a lot. So, it's nice to see that our starters are ready to go. They're ready for week 1. If week 1 was to start tomorrow, they'd be ready. But yeah, we just got to get a couple people back. Get Huntley back. He'll probably be back by week 1. I don't know about Jimmy Smith, but, once we get him back, we'll be all good. But for the most part, our defense is set. They're ready to go. They're ready to start week 1. As for our second and third stringers, man, these guys were doing some things. They were making some plays. Our secondary has a lot of depth. We got a lot of guys there that were making plays out there tonight. And they weren't giving up anything big. They were making stops. Overall, our defense has a lot of depth, especially in the secondary, and I love they were making stops, making big plays. They weren't giving up a lot for they weren't giving up a lot to the Panthers offense. So it's nice to see that we got a lot of depth in that secondary, especially because contracts and stuff that's happening there. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, defense looks nice, defense looks ready, and they've got depth at the secondary, so they are prepared for the season. Loved what I saw from the defense. They didn't give up a lot to this Panthers offense, so that was great. Moving on to the offense, though, because we already know what we expect from the defense, and they continue to deliver. They delivered last week. They delivered this week. Obviously, last week they had the 6 turnovers. That clearly wasn't going to happen this time, but they did make stops. They didn't give up a touchdown, so that's great. They only gave up 3 points. Fantastic job by the defense. Couple, plays they gave up, which shouldn't happen, but, that happens sometimes. You just give up some plays, but you move on from it. Overall, the defense played well. Moving on to the offense. All right, so for the offense, there wouldn't be a specific player of the game. I would say more so players of the game, and I would look towards the run game. The run game really got it going today. They really got it going today, especially in that second half. Ooh, I really like McCray. I like our guys, man. I like our backs, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to pick between them, because both of them, they were running today, man. They were really running. Both of them got touchdowns. And I look at the situation, I'm thinking to myself, how is this going to go with Justice Hill being here? Obviously, one of them is going to take that third running back spot. You can't keep all 3 of these guys, so 2 of them will most likely be on the roster. But did they get rid of Justice Hill? Because, what these two were showing off today and what they've shown so far in the preseason, both of them are some tough runners, and it would definitely benefit our run game to have these guys there so you don't have to put all the force on J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Sometimes it's nice to alternate, especially towards the end of the game, where if the game's out of hand, you can put these guys in. So, like, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, man, Justice Hill, I don't know if he's going to be on this roster much longer. You know, he has an edge, though. He definitely has an edge because he plays on the special teams, and he's a good player on special teams, so he has an edge there. But I don't know. The way these guys are running today, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to see Justice Hill stay, but we'll see what happens. The running game was great, got it going towards the second half, so I loved what I was seeing there. Most importantly, guy we got to talk about, Huntley. Huntley pretty much played the whole game, so how did he do? Well, the first pass he threw in this game got tipped and picked off. Not a good start for him. Second drive, the offense was backed up in their goal line. They go 3 and out. That was also not good. But after that, the offense started to slowly get better. They played so much better in the second half than they did in the first half. But I would really say from that third drive, they started getting it going, because that third drive, they started moving it down the field. Huntley was making some sharp passes. They continued to move the chains, and they got into the red zone. If it wasn't for the fumble, they probably would have scored there. And pretty much throughout the game, after that third drive, you know, the offense didn't have much of a problem with moving the chains and starting to get downfield and make plays and get into the red zone, especially in the second half. So they continued to move the chains, and Huntley continued to make plays. He was making some solid throws. The best throw he had today in this game was unfortunately a drop. It would have been like a 26-yard touchdown to Tylan Wallace, but he couldn't hold on. He was in the end zone, wasn't able to grab it. It is unfortunate. That would have been a touchdown. That was the best throw he made the entire game. The best throw. But overall, he was solid. After that interception, he started playing well. He started moving the chains, started extending plays. He took off a couple times, so he had a couple carries himself. But he was making smart plays. He wasn't trying to force anything downfield. And yeah, he looked great. First half, they were definitely shaky, but second half is when they changed up. Because first half, they put up 3 points. But second half, they put up 17 points. They continued to move the ball down the field, continued to make plays. And yeah, they were doing their thing. In terms of receivers, 2 guys really stood out today. Josh Oliver and Tylan Wallace. Tylan Wallace started making plays towards the end of the game. He started really making plays. He had a nice grab for a first down. It was like 12 yards. Nice grab, got both feet down in bounds, and then he makes another catch, and then he just takes off for like 15 yards. It was beautiful. Tylan Wallace was making plays. We started getting the ball more, so I'm hopeful they'll start feeding him, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll see in the third game if he continues to get some reps, because he looked nice today. But the guy that really looked nice was Oliver. We've been talking about this for a while as to who's going to take that third tight end spot. And from what we've seen so far, Josh Oliver has to be the guy. Now, he did fumble. He was the guy that did fumble the ball when they were in the red zone. But at the same time, he was the main reason they got there, because he had like 3 to 5. He had 3 of the 5 passes he had. He had 3 of the 5 passes Huntley had. Yeah. It was 3. Yeah, it was 3. He had 3 catches on that drive and helped them get down to the goal line. It was unfortunate he just fumbled the ball. So it is what it is with that. But yeah, Oliver, he's nice. He helps extend plays, man. He's going to get that third tight end spot. He's going to get that third tight end spot because he continues to make plays in the preseason. I like what I'm seeing from him so far, minus the fumble, but it happens. But yeah, he's got solid hands. He's making plays. He's getting open. He's getting some separation. And yeah, he's just looking nice. So Oliver is going to take that third tight end spot. I don't see anyone else winning it besides him. He's taking that spot. So other than that, I liked what I saw from him. I liked what I saw from Wallace. Unfortunately, I wanted to see something from Prochet, but we haven't really seen much. They haven't been targeting him that much. So it is unfortunate. They do keep him out there to return punts, but other than that, I didn't get to see anything really from him. I think he had 1 catch, but other than that, we didn't get to see much from him, which is unfortunate because we're seeing him kill it in practice, and during this joint practice, he was torching the Panthers defense. So it would have been nice to see him make at least a play or 2 here, but we just didn't get to see it. It is unfortunate, but, we'll see what happens with that. Prochet got to get more looks, but it is what it is. Today was more so about the running game, and in terms of the receiving core, it was more about Wallace and Oliver. So I did like what I saw, especially in the second half. They definitely started to turn it up way, way, way better than how they looked in the first game. And what was nice here is they really did well on third down. I think they were 10 of 16 on third down. That's great for the offense to continue to convert on third down, continue to move the chains, continue the drives. So, yeah, the offense looked way to drop the ball right in the middle of the video. But, yeah, the offense continued to move the chains. They continued to look nice, especially in that second half where they put up 17 points. I just love what I saw from the offense in the second half. Some strong running, some nice passes, nothing forcing downfield, players making plays, receivers making plays, and, yeah, just putting up points in the run game. That's what we do. That's some strong, tough, physical running. And I love what I saw from the second half. So we'll see if they can continue that same trend in the third preseason game, and we'll just go from there. After that, regular season starts, and it's going to get really crazy from there. Once again, I do not know if Lamar Jackson is going to play in that third preseason game. They might just be like, you know what, we'll just wait till week 1 and see how he does. But who knows? I think it all just depends on how it's going to look next week in terms of both his offensive line and his receivers. I don't know when Hollywood Brown's coming back. He continues to look nice, continues to get better and better. I'm still hopeful he'll show up next week. I know he's going to be ready by week 1, or at least I expect him to be ready by week 1. But we'll see what happens with that. Other than that, yeah, solid game. Team got the win again. That makes it 19 straight, if anyone's trying to keep track of that. I guess the record for the longest streak, because someone decided to keep track of this, but the longest streak for continuous wins in the preseason is like 19. So if we win next week, we'll have the record. But it's the preseason, man. Yeah, take pride in that. I take pride in that because it just shows that we have a lot of depth. And our players that come to this team looking to try and get on the roster, they fight, man. They fight. It just really shows how great the coaching is and how much we are able to just find talent, especially on the defensive side. Because these guys come out here and make plays and they make stops in the defense, which shows how much depth we have on this team. But yeah, other than that, we'll see what happens with the last preseason game. And then at that point, it's all regular season. We're straight go mode. Week 1, Las Vegas against the Raiders. It'll be something special. But yeah, that's all I got to say here. We'll see what happens next week. We'll see what happens this upcoming week involving training camp. Let's see if we'll get some guys back for the offensive line, because most of them are back, not all, but we'll see what happens with that. We'll see if we can get some receivers back, and we'll start to see if we can get somewhat of a picture as to how the offense is going to look week 1. But with that being said, that is all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace!